Hey everybody, Spencer here. Couple of notes before we get started today. First, you'll notice I am once again uploading in 1080p. I got a new monitor today, so hopefully that will help keep the process a little bit easier to do. I have a 1080p monitor, so recording in 1080p requires no extra resolution futzing about, so I'm kind of excited about that. Today I am playing EVE Online, and a couple of things have changed since the last time I played EVE. First, I'm in a new corporation. I have joined a PvP corporation. I have moved to nullsec space, and I've been trying to participate in PvP, which is a first for me. I've always been a strictly PvE guy. First I was a miner, and then I did some missions, and this is the first time I'm really diving into that. I really want to get my feet wet and learn the ins and outs of PvP and EVE, because it is a big part of the game that I have so far completely neglected. But what I wanted to talk about today in regards to EVE, I don't hide the fact that EVE is one of my favorite games, but I think I have a hard time explaining to people exactly what it is about EVE that makes it such a good game for me personally. And it sort of came to me when I was moving to nullsec space. And just if you're not familiar with EVE, nullsec is 0.0. Every system has a security status, and that ranges from 1.0 at the top end down to 0.0 at the bottom end. And anything 0.6 and above is considered high security space, and that means that there's going to be lots and lots of NPC police forces. So if you do something against the rules, then NPC ships are going to converge on you and give you grief. When you go to nullsec space, there is no NPC police whatsoever. It is the wildlands, and it's basically a free-for-all. Not entirely a free-for-all, because player alliances sort of impose order upon the wastes. But traveling in nullsec space in 0.0 is far more dangerous than traveling in high security, because in high security you have reasonable certainty that no one is going to attack you. Reasonable. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, it just means most of the time it's not going to happen. In nullsec, you have reasonable certainty that someone is going to attack you. So it's sort of a different thing. Now, let's get back to why this is one of my favorite games. When I first set out to travel to nullsec space, to get to my new corporation's staging grounds where I could then participate there, it was a huge sort of emotional ordeal, when it wouldn't be for most games. For most games, moving from space to space, place to place is no big deal. You know, assuming, in an MMO, for example, assuming that you're of the right level in WoW, you can go anywhere without too much trouble. Even if you are not of the correct level in WoW. For example, one time during one of the world events, I wanted to collect all of the fires for something or other, and I was way too level to go to the higher level zones, but I did it anyway, because death was not a barrier. If I died, maybe I lost some equipment issues, but I could just pay to get that back without any real problem, and there was no consequence for death. In EVE, death has enormous consequences. If you're not careful, game-crippling consequences. And for a lot of people, I understand that makes the game less appealing. But for me, it means everything you do has more weight. So moving from high security to low security space, I had to plan my route out. I had to decide what sort of ship would be the best thing. If I lost it, how much would I lose? Am I going to have to redo this giant trip? Because it was like a 45 jump trip, which is like at least an hour of traveling, probably more. And I was really nervous. Palms sweating, not really knowing how it's going to go. It's my first time doing this. And that sense of nerves, that feeling that something is actually at stake here. That's why I like EVE. And that's something that's lacking in most games. I'm going to leave it there for now. I did want to say I am working on a EVE Online specific show. It's probably going to be a weekly show. I don't know when it's going to come out yet, but if you're into EVE, or even if you're not into EVE and you just want to see how my game develops over time, check it out. Let me know, what do you think about consequences in games? Do you think there's enough in most games or not enough? Let me know in the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow.